welcome back to another video. So today going to be talking about some horror sequels, whether they're good or bad. Some of them are like sort of fan favorites, some of them have gained a little bit of cult status, I suppose, or following, maybe a couple, not too sure really. But I'm just going to go through a few sequels. I've picked out 8. This is number 2s in a series. So when I say sequels, it's like second parts to films, like part 2s. I picked 8, a little bit random. Some you might expect, some you might not. Most of them I haven't seen for a good while, so it's going to be quite fun actually seeing if I can like rack my brain and, remember them. So I thought I'd start with 1992's Pet Sematary 2. So it stars Edward Furlong from, Terminator fame. He's in Terminator 2. Sequel to the first Pet Sematary. This is the Scream Factory Collector's Edition. Well worth the pickup, nice edition. Film itself, I didn't think it was too bad. It's perhaps a little bit crazier than the first in Pet Sematary installment, but maybe not as good, as that one's a little bit slower paced and perhaps better storytelling overall. But I thought this was really fun, quite chaotic, a little bit out there and stuff. There you can see the back. Sometimes dead is better, but the shocking terror that plagued Ludlow, Maine, in Pet Sematary is still very much alive in this sequel to the 1989 hit film. Yeah, so good. I thought it was a half decent one, kind of a good one. Pet Sematary 2, a little bit crazier than the first one. Great artwork from Scream Factory there as well, looks brilliant. Excuse a bit of the glare. I'm kind of in the dark side of the room, so I had to increase the brightness on the camera. There's Pet Sematary 2 anyway. And another one that I picked out is the Arrow Video edition of The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. So it's directed by Wes Craven, who directed the first film. What year is it from? Hopefully it will say 1984. So from what I've gathered and have heard about this film, is Wes Craven kind of did it for the money. Maybe his heart wasn't in it too much, and it does show. Compared to the original film, it's quite bad. It even has, the infamous dog flashback and things like that. I suppose like the cannibal people are pretty cool in it, hiding out in the hills and stuff. But it's about these group of people going to like a motocross or biking event, motorbike event, and they're on, their bus breaks down and whatnot. And then, the mutant cannibalistic crew come along and like try and kidnap some of them and take them away and kill them and stuff. Yeah, weren't too keen on it myself, Hills Have Eyes 2. I'm willing to give it another go. This is the Arrow Video edition. It's a very nice edition. I think I got this at a bargain price as well. Shame is, for this one, is it's directed by Wes Craven, and he's one of the masters of horror, and most of his films are pretty phenomenal. But this one's just a bit of a stinker in my opinion. Hills Have Eyes 2. So on to the third one. This isn't a countdown, a ranking, should I say. It's just me talking about random sequels. So picked out The Fly 2. It's not the sequel to the Vincent Price Fly movie. It's a sequel to the Jeff Goldblum, David Cronenberg directed one from the 80s. This is the sequel. I assume this will be a 90s film. Or it might be late 80s actually. 1989, so about a year or two after the other Fly. Yeah, I thought this was pretty good actually for a sequel. I mean, is it a bad movie? Yeah, I suppose, but it's got good special effects in there and stuff. This is out of the Fly set from Scream Factory. I do have the box set with the 5 movies out of the franchise in, including all the Vincent Price ones too. So I'll just give you a little look in there. There you go, The Fly 2. But this one is worth grabbing. It's, it's worth a watch. I thought it was half decent. It's quite a bad film, I suppose, but, it has some good special effects and things. It's got more, gooey goodness with the Fly, a guy transforming into the Fly. It's even got some sort of like fight scenes in there. Okay, on to another one. And that's The Rage Carrie 2. I kind of didn't like this. The original Carrie from Brian De Palma's fantastic. The one written by Stephen King, based on the Stephen King book. Fantastic movie. This, not so good. I believe it's from like 1998 or something. 1999. And it's about a different girl with the, the telekinetic powers and stuff, or whatever it is, like telekinesis and all of that sort of thing. You know, it's kind of like a bit of a high school drama, and yeah, just wasn't too keen on it overall. Not the worst thing I've seen by a long shot, and I will keep this Blu-ray, but yeah, not too keen on it. Nice addition from 88 Films though, if you want to pick this one up to check it out. I believe it goes for about quite a good price, like £10 or something as well, brand new. That's what I paid for a few years ago. Soft touch slipcover. Not sure whether the slipcover's still about though. Okay, on to another sequel, and it is Pumpkinhead 2 Bloodwings. Pumpkinhead is probably one of my favourite horror films, and I can't wait to get my hands on the 4K Scream Factory edition. That's out next week, I think. I've pre-ordered that. This is an NSM Records edition of Pumpkinhead 2. We don't have a Blu-ray for Pumpkinhead or Pumpkinhead 2 in the UK. In fact, none of the Pumpkinhead movies from the franchise actually have UK Blu-rays or 4Ks, which is a crime really, and a crying shame. But anyway, I picked up this German edition, plays in English with it being an American film. Don't like Pumpkinhead 2 Bloodwings at all from what I remember. I've watched it once years ago when I had a bit of a Pumpkinhead marathon. But no, weren't too keen. I mean, Pumpkinhead looked good, as you can see there. There's some shots of him. He did look pretty cool, but it's got different mythology to the first film, which I thought was kind of a bit all over the place. And yeah, just weren't feeling Pumpkinhead 2. Glad to have it in the collection, though. As a completionist, you know, it's cool to have these movies. But yeah, thumbs down from me, Pumpkinhead 2. Now, I watched The Wicker Man on 4K last night, and I will say it was utterly fantastic. Looked absolutely brilliant. I watched the director's cut, thought it was great. They've obviously, the scenes that have been spliced in for the director's cut, they didn't upscale to or upgrade to 4K in the restoration. So there is parts of the film where there's a dip in quality, and then it goes back to the 4K quality, which is for the majority of the film, which looked pretty darn fantastic. Really, really have a high regard for this new Wicker Man 4K. It looked great, I must say. But I picked out this one, The Wicker Tree. Now, it's a sequel to The Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man. Nothing to do with the Nicolas Cage one or what have you. It's a sequel from the same director, Robin Hardy, who did the original 1973 Wicker Man. It's a sequel set years later, I forget, from 2011. I've watched it once, can barely remember it, but yeah, it's out there, you know. It's one of them ones you don't really hear too much about. I wasn't keen. Don't know if I'd necessarily give it a thumbs down. What I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to put this in a viewing like limbo, if you will, and say, yeah, I watched it once and I wasn't keen, but after watching The Wicker Man and really enjoying it yesterday, I'm very keen to check out more of the antics on Summer's Isle. So with this, I'm kind of, I don't know if to really say I like it or I don't. I didn't like it when I first watched it, but I'm willing to give it another go. So that's a Wicker Tree. It's a you can pick this up quite cheap. This is just a Anchor Bay edition of it, and UK Region B one. 92 minutes, yeah. Can't remember much about it. I just know it's got appearance from Christopher Lee in it, who's obviously a star of the original Wicker Man film. But yeah, I need to get on that again. I might even check that out tonight. Give it a rewatch. One I can kind of remember, and I did like very much, is Sleepaway Camp 2. Unhappy Campers. Now, the first film's pretty crazy, you know. Not the best slasher in the world, but it's kind of cool with the camp setting, and the reveal at the end of the film's really good. This one's a little different. This one's more, perhaps a bit gorier, and you know who the killer is in this one. It's got some good kills in there, some gross stuff. It's got a reference even to like Jason in there and stuff, Jason Voorhees. But yeah, if you've not seen it, do give Sleepaway Camp 2 a go, because I thought it was really good. Sort of a gross scene involving somebody sort of being drowned in feces in an old toilet as well, in a cabin in the middle of the woods, which is kind of gross. But yeah, I did enjoy Sleepaway Camp 2. That's one that does get a thumbs up from me out of like random horror sequels. One I need to rewatch again. It's kind of in that viewing limbo kind of area where I need to like give it another go, and that's Return of the Living Dead Part 2. The first film I never used to be too keen on when I was younger, but after watching it a few years back and then watching it again on the Scream Factory 4K last October, I think, it really grew on me again, and I think it's fantastic actually, and I can't believe I've missed out on, you know, sort of being quite a fan of Return of the Living Dead, and it's really grew on me. This one I thought was all right when I watched it a few years back. It's a Scream Factory edition. I don't know whether to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I weren't too keen on it. I think it's a long way away from being top notch like the first film. The first film's absolutely brilliant, and just, yeah, great comedy horror with gore and brilliant zombies and stuff, and a good storyline, and the characters are pretty fantastic. This one I felt lacked a little bit compared to the original, but then again, at least it's kind of, you know, its own thing a little bit, but, you know, very similar, like, but, you know, it's kind of a bit different and stuff. You know, in all fairness, I can't really remember it, so I'm going to put this in that kind of viewing limbo. I'm not going to say whether I like it or whether I don't, because I can't remember it that much. So it does warrant a rewatch. Great artwork, though, from Scream Factory. Love the artwork. There's a little look at the disc. It's got the original poster art there. So, yeah, there's some random horror sequels, you know, just some random ones. Don't know, has anybody seen these random horror sequels? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you dislike them? So these are the ones I picked out. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. They're all films I need to rewatch as well. So when I've sort of done with my Halloween season watches, and I've got a lot of new stuff to catch up on as well. And there's a lot of things on Shudder originals and exclusives I need to catch up on as well. And I'm going to be watching the Halloween franchise and ranking all, is it 13? I think it is. All 13 movies from the franchise. I'm going to watch them all in a sort of marathon over a few days. And then I'm going to rank them on a video for the channel. But anyway, this one was about random sequels. So you got Return of the Living Dead Part 2, Sleepaway Camp 2, The Wicker Tree. Quite looking forward to seeing that again, but I don't think I'll like it that much. I didn't first time. I need to rewatch it though. Pet Sematary 2, Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings, The Rage Carry 2, The Fly 2, and The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. So there's sort of a few sequels. I picked out 8. It's been a fun video. Let me know what you think of these films. Okay, that's the end of the video. I'll see you soon with some unboxings maybe, and the Halloween franchise ranking at some point over the next couple of weeks. So thanks for watching. Bye.